Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to analyze a company called Green Panel Industries. So this time we have chosen a totally different sector. We have not generally analyzed many companies which are ancillary to the real estate sector or the infrastructure sector, but this time you have chosen something very unique and it's going to be a very interesting video. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you can join our Telegram channel as well. Let's get started. So Green Panel Industries is a company which got demerged from a well-known brand or a company called Greenply. So it's a family-run concern, and now all the three brothers have demerged three companies and they run their own companies, and they will be manufacturing both plywood and MDF in all the three companies. And along with that, they will be manufacturing value-added products, which we'll discuss in the video as we go forward. So this demerger happened in 2019, and post the demerger, Green Panel became one of the largest MDF manufacturers in Asia and the largest MDF manufacturer in India. So this company is headquartered in Kolkata. They have manufacturing plants in Andhra Pradesh and Uttarakhand. They manufacture various products like MDF, plywood. They have also started manufacturing value-added products like veneer flooring, that means the wooden flooring, and wooden doors. Presently, the company has a capacity of 540,000 cubic meters per annum, and they are extending this capacity further as they are running on almost full capacity now. They have their presence in more than 3,000 plus outlets, and they have more than 1,800 people working with their company. This company got demerged from Greenply, as we have discussed, and got separately listed on the stock exchanges in 2019. Let's talk about the management of the company. The chairman of the company is Mr. Shiv Prasad Mittal. He's a veteran in the industry and he has experience of more than 30 years in the industry. He's a bachelor from science in University of Kolkata, and he is one of the founders of Greenply Industries, and he has been associated with Kitply Industries for more than 21 years. So he has a vast experience working in this industry, and he knows all the intricacies of running this business well and growing it and taking it to the next level. His son, Mr. Shobhan Mittal, is the managing director and CEO of this company. He has a bachelor's degree in business administration. He's been the joint managing director and CEO of Greenply Industries earlier, and post merger he's been managing this company as the managing director, and he has been instrumental in setting up the MDF manufacturing units at Andhra Pradesh as well as Uttarakhand for this company. What are the key milestones relevant to Green Panel Industries in this decade? In 2010, they started a brand called Green Panel Max, and they started MDF manufacturing also in 2010. In 2014, they started Green Floor Max wood flooring, so they entered the flooring business in this year. In 2015, they wanted to expand their export business, so they established an office for exports in Singapore. In 2016, they started their second manufacturing plant for MDF in Andhra Pradesh, and this same plant became the largest plant in Asia by extending the capacity in 2018. In 2019, the company got demerged from Greenply and got separately listed, and 2020 onwards, they are now focusing on their individual growth and their capacity expansions. Now let's understand the business of this company by understanding what are the products which they manufacture. So the first product which they manufacture is club grade board. So this is an advanced form of MDF. This is almost like a substitute for a plywood. It's water resistant, high density, durable, and very stable product. It is used in all kinds of furniture like wet areas, kitchen, bathroom, cupboards, and various other places. The next product which the company manufactures and has the largest capacity in Asia is of MDF. So MDF, as you know, is nowadays used as a substitute for plywood. MDF is made with hardwood fibers which are bonded together and at a temperature of more than 240 degrees Celsius. MDF can be an eco-friendly product, and in MDF this company manufactures various grades like industrial grade, exterior grade, and various other qualities. They have also entered into the flooring business, which is closely related to their original business, that is wooden flooring, and their flooring is suitable to the Indian conditions as it is quite durable and resistant from scratches and extreme climatic conditions. They are implementing their own patented new technologies in manufacturing flooring, which is PermaClick, which is an interlocking system which removes the gaps within the flooring, Max Shield, which makes the flooring scratch resistant. SoundSpot is another technology which reduces the sound which the flooring makes when some person walks on the flooring. The next product which they manufacture is plywood. This has been their ancient product which they have been manufacturing since 2 to 3 decades, and plywood is still in demand and it is still growing in terms of usage in India. Plywood they are manufacturing using their technology called patented Quad Pro technology, which is a 4-step manufacturing process. And in plywood also they have various varieties like club plywood, boiling water proof plywood, moisture resistant plywood, gold plywood, accurate plywood. So like this they have different plywood qualities for the different purposes for which the plywood can be used. The next product which they manufacture is block board. So these are boards which are of specified sizes. These are mainly used in smaller furnitures like doors, cupboards, racks, panels, and various other uses. Next product which they manufacture is veneer. So veneer is a product which is like a thick sheet which is sticked onto the MDF or the plywood when you make the furniture, and after sticking veneer you get the furniture polished and it looks like it is made of real wood and not just a plywood. So the features of veneer which they manufacture is it is quite decorative, it is defect free, there are no gaps. And in veneer also they have different varieties like teak veneer, nature max veneer, natural veneer, and various other products. The next product which they manufacture are ready to use doors. So these doors are made of standard sizes as well as they customize it as per their customers' requirements. So these doors are also made of the same technology which is Quad Pro technology. They are quite accurate and stable in terms of their size. They can be customized as per the customer requirements, and they can also do the veneer sticking on the doors and get them polished as per their customers. They also offer a product where the door has the veneer surface, and their doors also have different varieties like the commercial doors, natural teak doors, pre-laminated doors, and then natural veneer doors. So in this also they have various other varieties. Now, why is the industry choosing MDF over plywood? This can be a controversial question, as still people debate that plywood is much stronger than veneer. So that is also one school of thought, and that is also true. But these are the reasons why some people are preferring MDF over plywood. Because MDF can be manufactured, can be easily available, it is environment friendly, it is as good as plywood as per one school of thought. It is quite durable, and the product is quite robust in terms of durability. In terms of price, it is quite reasonable. It can be easily painted upon, or laminates can be fixed onto it, or in fact there is already pre-laminated MDF which is sold. And in short, it is Sasta Sundar Tikau. In terms of geography, if you see, 88% of the company's revenue come from India, and the export generate about 12% of the revenue. Now let's talk about the industry trends in which this company operates. Close to about 29 billion rupees is the Indian MDF market size as of now, and the plywood is much higher, which is about 225 billion rupees. In India, Greenpanel is the largest manufacturer, having a capacity of 5,40,000 cubic meters, and total Indian capacity, if you see, is somewhere around 14,80,000 CBM. So close to 1/3 of the capacity of MDF manufactured in India, which is the organized and branded segment, is manufactured by Greenpanel as of now. Although the other companies are also doing capex, and this ratio or this market share of 1/3 may not remain the same as we go further. The government has around 100 smart cities in the pipeline, which will increase the demand for plywood and MDF. As more and more people shift from using plywood to MDF, the market size of MDF will keep increasing. Why we are focusing on MDF for this company is their maximum revenue is generated from MDF and not from plywood. So there's also the export opportunity of these products are also growing, and due to the low interest rates, people are preferring more houses, and from work from home also people like to buy better houses for themselves, and this is leading to increased demand in the infrastructure sector. For the wooden flooring in India, it's close to about 600 crore market size, and this market size is also going to increase as we go further. Who are the competitors of this company? The main competitor is Century Plywood, and now since the original company split into three, all the three brothers will compete with each other in the form of Greenply Industries, Greenlam Laminates also. Another strong competitor for MDF and plywood is Action TISA, and few other competitors are Pioneer Panel Products, Aerolam, Alpha Ika, and Arkitply Industries. What are the competitive strengths of this company? This company operates with very strong margins, and they are in MDF, they are having a margin of 30 plus EBITDA. The amount which they are receiving for the sale of per cubic meter, the realizations have improved by 22% in this quarter, and for plywood the realizations have improved by 13.4%. So you can see that the prices of these products are increasing as well as their margins are improving. Out of the total sales, 82% of the revenue of this company comes from MDF, and that is why we are giving MDF a lot of importance when we analyze this company. This company manufactures MDF using the best of the technologies, and it is a global brand operating out of India. So people who want China plus one supplier would choose companies like Greenpanel to manufacture MDF for them or plywood for them and export from India to their country. As we have discussed, in Asia it is the largest single location MDF manufacturer, and now along with MDF and plywood, they are focusing on developing more and selling more value added products like flooring and others. Let's talk about the growth prospects of this company. The company plans to be net debt free by FY23, so they are continuously reducing their debt. They expect the present growth rate to be sustainable in the near term. As long as the infrastructure sector keeps doing well, the demand for these products is bound to remain high. At present, the company is operating at almost 95% capacity in MDF and close to 92% capacity in plywood. Out of the total share of revenue, they want to focus more on the value-added products as they get higher margins there, and they also differentiate themselves from the others in the industry when they sell more of value-added products. They will obviously take a leverage of the original brand, which is Greenply, to grow their business. They have more than 2,000 dealers right now, which they are increasing their dealer network, and close to more than 10,000 retailers, and this number will also keep growing. They want to maintain their strong position in MDF, and they also want to promote MDF as a product. They will increase their manufacturing capacities, and they will spend smartly on the advertising and promotion of their products. What are the risks which this company might face? There could be logistics issues which the company is facing, due to which their cost of raw material is also going high. The raw material availability could be an issue. The increased cost of raw material is the risk. There could be reduction in the demand of their products if the infrastructure sector doesn't do well. Country risk, as most of the business of the company is focused on India. There is a lot of competition in India from other manufacturers, and there is also stiff competition from imports from China. So as of now, the government is supporting them by applying anti-dumping duties. But in case those anti-dumping duties are removed, there could be stiff competition from Chinese imports also. The political environment could be a risk since the company is into exports. Their forex revenue could be affected. There is also a risk that the company doesn't focus on the value-added products. Then their original products like MDF and plywood can become normal products which can be manufactured by anybody else like a commodity. So that's also a risk, and that is why they have to develop better products and differentiate themselves from the market competitors. Technology is a risk. They have to keep upgrading their technologies. These are the different risks which this company might face. Coming to the financial analysis now, starting with their Q2 FY22 performance, revenue has gone up close to double from about 218 crores to 408 crores. EBITDA has gone up from 46 crores to 115 crores. Profit after tax has gone up from 18 to 67 crores. So this quarter has been the best ever quarter for this company. Margins have improved from 21% to 28% in EBITDA and 8% to 16% in profit after tax. The capacity utilization is also almost full, as we have discussed. And in terms of balance sheet, the company's balance sheet has become stronger as they have reduced debt and they are managing their working capital in a better fashion. Now let's analyze the last 3 years' results. In FY19, they clocked a revenue of 599 crores, which increased to about 1021 crores in FY21, and in the trailing 12 months, they have doing a turnover of about 1436 crores. EBITDA has gone up from 77 crores, and in the last trailing 12 months, they have done an EBITDA of 347 crores. So the EBITDA performance is drastically improved. Profit after tax has gone up from about 35 crores to about 184 crores in the trailing 12 months. So profitability is drastically improved. In terms of margins, EBITDA margins have gone up from 13% to 24%. Profit after tax margins have gone up from 5.8% to about 12.8%. In fact, in recent quarter, the margins are much higher. Share capital is constantly same at 12 crores. The reserves are steadily growing from 633 crores to about 815 crores in the September balance sheet. Borrowings are going down, which is a good sign. It has gone down from 587 crores to 416 crores, and now the debt equity ratio is somewhere around 0.5, which is quite under control. And by FY23, the company is set to become debt free. Fixed assets are steadily maintained, and the company has been doing small capex every year to remove the bottlenecks and improve their capacities. Inventories are steady. There's no abnormal increase in the inventory levels, although their sales have drastically improved. So this is good sign of their inventory management. Trade receivables are in fact gone down from 78 crores to about 49 crores in September 21. So this shows that they are receiving money fast from their debtors, and the stock is also moving quite fast. Cash equivalence balance has gone up from 20 crores in FY19 to about 153 crores in the September balance sheet. Operating cash flows are increasing from 17 crores in FY19 to about 155 crores in FY21. Free cash flows were negative in FY19 because of the capex which they had done, and after that, in spite of capex, the free cash flows have been positive, and in FY21 they have done a free cash flow of about 135 crores. Debtor days are constant and very much under control, around 28 days. Inventory days are reducing, which is also a good sign, and about 118, although this is not the best, but still 118 is a decent number. ROC is improved from 6% earlier to about 12% now. In fact, in the recent quarter, if you see, ROC is much higher. This is not a dividend paying company as of now. ROE is about 10%, which is improved in the recent quarter. Inventory turnover ratio is about 7, which is also good. Remuneration to chairman and managing director is somewhere around 5.69 crores, and the auditors of the company are Kothari Mehta and Co. Now let's talk about the shareholding pattern of this company. Promoters hold about 53% shareholding and the public holds about 21%. DIIs have a strong holding of about 22.7% and FIIs also have a small holding of 2.9%. There's no pledge by the promoters in this company. Now let's talk about the valuations. Last trade price is somewhere around 367. Share price of the stock has gone up from about 78 rupees as a 52-week low to 422 rupees 52-week high. So it has generated massive returns in the last 1 year for the investors. The market cap, in spite of such increase, remains just at about 4,500 crores. So it is still a small cap company. Face value is 1, it is not rupees 10. EPS is about 15 rupees and PE is about 25. Industry P comes to somewhere around 30, although Century Ply trades at a much higher P. Median PE of this stock has been somewhere around 30 in the last 3 years, and the book value is somewhere around 250. So in terms of price to book ratio, it comes to about 5.72, which is on the higher side. Market cap to sales comes to around 2.23, which is slightly on the higher side. So the valuations are on the higher side, but we have to be more careful in this case because the stock has given a very big run up in the last 1 year. Now let's look at the price chart. The first support comes around 350 rupees and the next support would come around 300 rupees. So this could be a range where the stock can consolidate in the present market correction, and in this range it could be a decent entry level where somebody is satisfied with the fundamentals and the business model of the company to start taking and building their position. Now I'll take a few questions from people who are a part of our Telegram channel. And if you're not a part of the Telegram channel, you can search my name on the Telegram and join our channel so that you can have such interesting interactions with me. So the first question is from Mr. G.R. Sitramagol, who is from Karnataka. Actually, this was a very common question with a lot of people in the form which I have created. So stock price has already gone up a lot, even though being the largest producer in MDF in the country with good sales and profit margins, ROC in the last year is not so encouraging. You think still it's a worthy stock in the portfolio? So there are two things which he's asking. First thing, he's worried about the stock price which has gone up. So that is a very valid worry. Because of the stock price giving such a big run up, there are always concerns, and that is why you should be careful and gradually you should accumulate the stock. And there could be a major correction in the stock if at all something goes wrong with the company or with the industry. As long as the results are coming good, the stock price will sustain. There is nothing to worry, or there's no major concern as long as the results are good. The next point he's asking is about ROC. ROC, as we have discussed, it has improved and compared to earlier, and in present Q2, if you see, the ROC is drastically improved, and going further, if the results are same as they have got in Q2, ROC also will come into the range of about 18 to 20% in the near term. So keeping these things in mind, as long as the infrastructure sector is doing well, this could be a stock to be kept in your portfolio. But one thing you should keep in mind is infrastructure sector is also kind of cyclical, and that cycle will impact these ancillary companies. The next question is from Mr. Ravi Punnati, who's from Hyderabad. He asks, who are the competitors of Green Panel and what will be their impact on the future? So the competitors we have discussed in earlier slide, the major listed competitors are Century Ply and the other other brothers of the same family. In the unlisted space, there is also huge competition from companies like Action, TISA. So this is not some product which is very unique and manufactured by this company. There are other companies also manufacturing this, and that is why the company is focusing more on the value added segment, and they want to improve the proportion of sales from value added segment out of their total sales. So that risk which is there, that the product is having stiff competition, the management is also quite aware about it, and they are already working on it so that they diversify their product base into various value added products. The next question is from Mr. Sudeep Singh, who is from Amritsar. He asks that there doesn't seem to be any specific moat in the company. They are already running at high capacity utilization. Is there any way the margin can increase or any sort of operating leverage kick in to gain good gains in the stock price, or will they show growth in revenue in line with the general rise in demand? So there are again few points which are specifically discussed in this. First point is relating to the moat. Although the company is manufacturing MDF which is of high quality, still the MDF itself is not a strong moat for the company, as there are other competitors who are equally good and manufacturing equally good quality of MDF. So the company is focusing on the value-added products. The second point which he has asked is about the operating leverage. Yes, as the company expands their manufacturing capacities, there will be operating leverage, and their margins, in fact, have already started showing that the operating leverage is kicking in and the margins are increasing. The next point he has asked is whether the company will show a regular rise in revenue as the demand in the general market rises. Yes, for MDF and plywood, their rise in revenue would be on the same lines as the demand in the market rises. In fact, it can be slightly better than the market demand, but that will be supplemented by the other products in which the company is focusing. So these are the FAQs which we have answered. Now to conclude, the company has a very experienced management and they are market leaders in MDF. They are experts in manufacturing these products and the product quality which they keep is top notch. They are showing consistent growth in the last 3 years and they have capex plan to increase their capacities of production. They are also focusing on value added products to expand their product base. They are managing their working capital well and liquidity position of the company is also improving. They are focusing on consistent spend on advertising and growing their brand. In terms of fundamentals, also the company's fundamentals are decent. A few things which you should keep in mind is there is stiff competition in this sector, and if the company doesn't differentiate their product from the others, it will become like a commodity product. The tailwinds which the sector is experiencing may not be permanent, and after a few years, if there is a down cycle and the infrastructure or realty sector slows down, the demand of these products may get reduced. And another thing you should keep in mind is the stock has given huge returns in the last 1 year and the stock may continue to remain very volatile from here on also. So this is about Green Panel. I hope you like the analysis. If you like it, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you want me to make videos on your favorite stock, mention those stock names in the comments below. I'll include them in my Telegram poll. Thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful, wonderful day.